next speaker. And ever since she was a little girl, she has had rare or different medical issues that seem to befall her. She's never had a broken bone, but seems to have incurred everything but that. She is going to discuss her life as a wingnut so far. The speech is entitled, My Life as a Wingnut So Far, Miss Denise.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. So yes, my husband calls me his little wingnut. Why, you ask? Direct quote from hubby. Because things are always spinning off you and falling apart. For the record, it's not my fault. I really blame it on bad genetics, truly. So let me just give you a glimpse into my existence. So when you go to the doctor's office for the first time, and you fill out all the paperwork for a new patient, etc., how long does it take you? 5, 10 minutes? Well, I decided to bring my latest one. And Curtis, right here. So because of that, I am just going to give you some highlights of my medical follies. In the beginning, swollen foot. Easy. Bee sting, no problem. Well, my foot had swollen so much I couldn't walk. I was a weeble. If those of you who know from childhood, weebles go like this and don't fall down. I'm more allergic than most people. Sprained ankles, both of them. First one, trying to be Mary Lou Retton on a balance beam, sprained it. The second, high school, falling down a flight of stairs in heels. That was very attractive for a 15-year-old girl. Broken blood vessel in the middle of my back. Who has that? I don't even know what that was when it happened. Tonsils. I've been sick and had strep throat all through my childhood. If I could get a respiratory infection, it was always strep, etc. And this was the time that doctors didn't want to do. Back in the day, they took them out at 3 to 5 years old. Me, no. They forced me for about 10 years to suffer every single winter. Finally got them out. Note to self, excruciating as an adult to get out, the most painful surgery I've ever had. Another sprained ankle, or so I was told from step aerobics. And we'll come back to that one. I was in a boot for about a year. Fought with my HMO to get an MRI for a year. Finally, they let me have an MRI. Turned out it was still inflamed and swollen after a year. So just remember that. We'll come back to that. Then I also hurt my knee doing step aerobics. So note to self, perhaps I should not be doing step aerobics. Well, the instructor said, oh, don't worry about it. You're fine. Go ahead. So I did. Again, we'll hear more on this knee and ankle issue coming up. Then in 2000, my wrist began to hurt. I thought, maybe carpal tunnel, something of that nature. No, I had a ganglion cyst, which I didn't even know what that was. And instead of just, it presents on the top of your wrist. And in the old days, they took a Bible and smacked it and go away. I'm serious. This is medical terminology. Seriously, that's what they did. See? Yes. She knew she did this. Absolutely. So, but instead, I had to have an MRI to see it because it was embedded in the middle of my wrist, wrapped around tendons, and you'd never seen something like that before. Again, you'll see a pattern of it can only happen to me. Then I had foot surgery. Well, this was due to my lovely female heritage in my family. It turns out I had bunionettes, which are, it's a cute term, but it's not really fun. I had two surgeries at the same time on both my feet, so I would walk pretty much around like this. So not fun. Then when I was pregnant, happy event. However, I was diagnosed with hyper and then hypothyroidism, and I had to monitor my blood pressure the whole time wearing a monitor. Why? Because I had mild preeclampsia. So I can could never just have a pregnancy and be happy and so forth. Next, doing Pilates. My shoulder started hurting. I thought, just like the instructor, oh, perhaps I just moved it differently and we work on that. No, can't be that simple. So essentially, I had a bone spur and a torn rotator cuff. However, when they got in, so this is good, I didn't have the tear, however, I still had the bone spur, and they found arthritis on my collarbone. Did you know arthritis could be on your collarbone? I did not, so that was new when we came out of the surgery. Then I'll get to the big one, which is heart disease. My grandmother died at 58 from a massive heart attack. And when I was a child, okay, and you're like, oh, okay, you know, that's sad. So I didn't really think there was a history. Well then, 2 years ago, my dad at 65 had a quintuple bypass surgery. 5 of his arteries were almost 100% blocked. And they were surprised he was walking. They assured that they could not believe he was just a miracle walking. So because of that, while I don't have heart disease at the moment, we have to be very careful and take precautions now. Remember those knee and ankle injuries? Here we come. So the knee, I finally, after years of hurting, I decided to take a look at it. Turns out I had torn my meniscus 3 places, got surgery. And this is my favorite, the crown jewel of my medical follies. The ankle injury that seems to have never gone away. I have what is called an anterior ankle osteochondral defect, or OCD. I know there's one person that's heard of that in this room. However, most people are, what are you thinking? According to the Foot and Ankle Clinic, it means a very localized area of joint damage. In layman's terms, that means I don't have bone where I should in my ankle. There is a small piece of my bone that's missing. Because of the injury, it had eroded away. And it's interior, which is very, very rare. When I looked for doctors, there's maybe 3, and some had never even seen it before. So what I can do, could I have surgery? Yes, 80% effective, different bones in my body. So I choose to just take some pride in my specialness and my ankle. So my little wingnut, yes, that's definitely me. I used to fight it and just accept, but now I accept it's just me. This is what I have to deal with. However, when I think about that, there's so many people in this world that have it so much harder than me. So if this is all that befalls me, I'll take it. So when I go to the doctor and they say, wow, I've never seen that, heard that, that's strange, I just smile. Thank you.